Duncan Preston and Susan Penhaligon, a love story marked by twists and turns. Duncan Preston, a beloved figure from the long-running ITV soap opera Emmerdale, has seen both triumph and heartbreak in his personal life, particularly in his relationship with co-star Susan Penhaligon. The couple's journey through love, marriage, and eventual separation provides a compelling narrative that resonates with fans of the series and followers of celebrity relationships alike. Early beginnings. Duncan Preston was introduced to television audiences as Doug Potts, the father of Laurel Thomas in Emmerdale. His portrayal of this character endeared him to many viewers from when he first appeared on screen in 2007 until his departure in 2020. His charm and natural comedic talent highlighted his role, but it was his personal life, especially his relationship with Susan Penhaligon, that drew interest beyond the soap's narrative. Susan Penhaligon also holds a place in the hearts of Emmerdale fans for her role as Jean Hope, Bob Hope's first wife. Her stint on the show lasted for 24 episodes in 2006, and she brought a unique flair to her character, captivating audiences. The connection between Duncan and Susan began much earlier, culminating in their marriage in 1986. The marriage and initial split. The union of Duncan and Susan was one that many believed would stand the test of time. However, their marriage proved to be rocky, leading to a divorce in the early 1990s. By 1992, the couple decided to part ways, a choice that surprised both their friends and fans. The chemistry they exhibited on screen made many hope for a different outcome in their real-life romance. Despite their split, both Duncan and Susan continued to have a presence in the entertainment industry, each carving out successful careers in television and theater. Duncan's portrayal of Doug Potts became iconic, while Susan continued to engage with various acting projects, all the while bearing the label of Duncan's ex-wife. Reconciliation and hopes. In a turn of events that seemed like a second chance at love, Duncan and Susan reconciled by 1997. Their reunion sparked renewed hope among their fans, many of whom wished for the couple to find happiness together after their earlier disappointment. They chose not to remarry, reflecting a mutual understanding that their relationship had evolved beyond the bounds of traditional marriage. In interviews, both Duncan and Susan often expressed regret over their initial divorce, acknowledging that the love they shared had not entirely diminished. Their relationship appeared to be on the mend, and those who observed the two together noted a palpable joy in their companionship, believing that they could make it work this time. The second breakup. However, the fairy tale did not last. In 2015, Duncan confirmed that he and Susan had ended their relationship a second time. This news came as a shock to many who saw them as a couple who had finally figured things out. The heartbreaking announcement held a depth of emotion as Duncan spoke candidly about the split. For years, they managed to keep the details of their separation private, shrouded in mystery. Duncan, in a subsequent interview with This Is Money, detailed how he moved on after their breakup. He mentioned that he sold his flat in Highgate and moved back up to Yorkshire, where he purchased a more spacious home. "I sold the Highgate flat for a good profit and bought a place twice as big for half the price," he said, referring to his new residence in a picturesque village overlooking Ilkley Moor. "It's a 1950s detached property with 4 bedrooms, and I rattle around in it, but I love it." Reflections on love and loss. Duncan's reflections on his romantic history reveal a man who has faced his fair share of love and loss. He recounted that before his relationship with Susan, he had been engaged to another woman in the 1970s. That engagement ended, leading him to a rather somber financial gamble. "In 1974, I'd been engaged to someone and we broke up, so I put everything I had, £2,000, which was a lot in those days, on a horse that was second favorite to win the Epsom Derby, and it came third, so I got nothing." His story is not just about heartbreak, it's also a testament to resilience. After years of navigating complex emotions and relationships, Duncan has emerged with a renewed sense of self-discovery and purpose. He shared insights into how their differences may have played a role in their recurring separations, stating, "We're like chalk and cheese. Duncan is about as conventional as you get. The differences that once drew them together could also be the reason for their recurrent splits, demonstrating the complexity that often accompanies deep emotional bonds." Conclusion. In the narrative of Duncan Preston and Susan Penhaligon, we find a story that is not unfamiliar in the realm of celebrity romances, filled with love, longing, and
Emmerdale
ultimately
star Duncan
separation.
Preston
Married his ITV soap co-star in 1986 before divorcing in the early 90s, and their reconciliation didn't go to plan. One Emmerdale legend has announced he has split from his co-star wife for a second time. Duncan Preston is best known for playing Laurel Thomas' dad Doug Potts in the ITV soap from 2007 until he bowed out in 2020. His ex-wife Susan Penhaligon also starred in 24 episodes of the soap, playing Bob Hope's first wife Jean Hope in 2006. Susan and Duncan tied the knot back in 1986, but called it quits just a few years later in 1992, deciding to get a divorce. By 1997, they'd reconciled and opted to give their relationship another go, and fans thought it was going well. The pair never remarried, though they regretted ever splitting up. But now Duncan has confirmed they've ended things for a second time, finally calling it quits in 2015. They kept the split secret for many years, but now Duncan has explained to This Is Money they're no longer an item. He explained that he sold his flat in Highgate shortly after their split. "I sold the Highgate flat for a good profit and bought a place twice as big for half the price coming back up to Yorkshire in 2015 after Susie and I split up, and that's the house I have now. It's in a lovely village and looks out over Ilkley Moor. It's a 1950s detached property with 4 bedrooms and I rattle around in it. But I love it." Duncan shared another instance of him being unlucky in love, confirming he'd been engaged to a different woman in the 70s before breaking it off. He said, "In 1974 I'd been engaged to someone and we broke up, so I put everything I had, £2,000, which was a lot in those days, on a horse which was second favorite to win the Epsom Derby, and it came third, so I got nothing." Susan said of Duncan before their split, "We're like chalk and cheese. Duncan is about as conventional as you get."